Come on, you're live. Bring the meeting of the Plan Commission to order. First thing is minutes from the October 1 meeting. I'm guessing we've all had a chance to look at that since Karen got us all this stuff 10 days ago. Unless, of course, something changed like it did tonight. Don't laugh. I would accept a motion to accept.
Make a motion to. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business, election of vice president of the Plan Commission for the remainder of 2025. I guess there's a reason I'm sitting here, huh? I would entertain, what do you want to call it? Nominations?
Yep.
Nominate Bill Burrows for vice president for the remainder of this year.
Just remember, I'll owe you. Here's your chance, Chad. Here's your chance.
I'll second.
All right, we have a nomination and a second.
Any other nominations?
Thank you. Any other nominations, John?
No.
No. Karen, do we need to have a roll call or does
There
it
should
matter?
be.
Okay.
Well, I would first ask for a motion to close the
Oh,
nominations.
okay, we'll close a motion to close the nominations.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Karen?
Now vote. That can you do by voice vote.
Oh, we can? All
Yeah.
right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye.
Now you can vote on the election. That
Oh.
that was to close the nominations.
Way too technical. Sometimes I don't play well with others.
You're doing fine, Bill. Don't worry about it.
All right. So
Now,
we now need a nomination.
now a vote
A
on
vote.
whether or not to elect you.
Okay. Karen?
Okay, Bill Burrows,
No. Just to be funny.
Brody Cook.
Yep.
Justin Adams,
Yes.
John Anderson,
Yes.
Chad Maple,
Yes.
Adam Stateman,
Yes.
Heather Ellen Hoover.
Yes.
Sorry, Bill.
Motion carried. We're fine. We're fine. I'm making a big deal out of it. But
Yes.
It's no big deal. B, under new business, 241 LLC of Rowan, request to petition the Wabash City Plan Commission for a preliminary subdivision plat approval for the parcel number 85-10-36-300-024 000-008 at State Road 13 and Southwest US 24 to divide the 10 acres for immediate development.
Before we move on that, I'd like to recuse myself. My brother-in-law might be acting as the real estate agent in that.
So, I couldn't recuse myself from the last one, but you can. That's nice. Understood, Brody. Understood. I assume we need someone to speak. Greg? Greg?
Wait a second.
Okay. I'm new to this, Greg.
I'm ready.
I'm new to
Okay.
this.
Okay. I want to make sure we've got the affidavit of mailing of notices. We've got the affidavit of publication of notice. So it's properly before you. However, I need to also inform the petitioner that this is a 9-member commission, that under state law, no action is official unless it is voted by a majority of the commission, not a majority of those present. So there are 6 people here. So if the vote was 4-2, it would still fail because the vote needs to be at least 5. Because we are a 9-member board, we have to have at least 5 people vote in favor of it for it to be approved. And we have to have at least 5 people vote against it for it to be denied. So if you ended up with a 4-2, that's a no decision. And the petitioner can come back later. Because of that, we always offer the petitioner the opportunity to schedule it for a different time, to move it off till next month, or they can go forward today. If you do decide to continue it to next month in the hope that you would have a full commission, and we usually do have a full commission, but if you do decide to continue it, you do not have to re-advertise. You do not have to send out any notices, because anybody who was interested in it could have been here and would have been told that it was being continued. So, having said all that, I just need to know whether you want to proceed tonight or continue it till next month.
We will proceed.
Very well. Now it's properly before you.
Greg, would you please?
Good evening. My name is Greg Metz. I am principal broker of Metz Philippi Real Estate, and I'm representing 241 tonight. 241 is basically an agricultural LLC that owns the real estate, 80-some acres at the intersection of US 24 and State Roads 13 and 15 now. They've entered into a contract with an entity out of Huntington to buy the 10 acres that's before you to be split. That entity was before the city last month,
For the
I think.
BZA.
for the BZA, for the changes or the variance, I think they entered, right?
Special exception. I believe.
Special exception, okay. Because what they're putting in is a convenience store truck stop. It's going to sell gasoline. So that went through last month and was approved by the BZA. What we're requesting is the approval to split this 10 acres for the purpose of closing, for their purpose to construct the facility there. This is the first split out of this tract. It's not been developed. Nothing out there has been developed on that side of town. The buyers have already gone through IDEM and have the approvals for the cuts. All that's been done. They've been before or talked to the mayor with regards to some financial assistance for some of the infrastructure that needs to be done there. He's approved that. So the last step of the hurdle to close this thing is your approval tonight. Okay? And we sent the package in. I apologize, the survey's pretty small. I know they printed up Jeff was helpful enough to print up an oversized in case you want to see where it is. Basically, it's 10 acres right at the point is what it is. That's the ground that needs to be split and sold.
And when you say split, Greg, you mean just split off the
Yes.
80
That's it, yeah.
as opposed
To-
to
to-
splitting the 10? into
Correct,
back?
yes. The 80 acres will be split into a 70 acre and this 10 acre tract, basically, yes.
Thank you.
Anyone have any comments or questions for Greg? If not, I would entertain a motion.
See if there's anybody in the
Oh,
audience that
anybody
wants
in-
to speak for or against it.
Anyone in the audience would like to speak for or against?
I do. Just to understand, would that remain just bare ground?
I'm sorry.
Would that 10 acres just remain bare ground?
No, they're gonna build.
They're gonna build on that 10
Yes.
acres? What? I guess I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said, it's a convenience store, gas station,
And the other 70 acres is the truck
nothing.
lot?
Yeah, that's. oh,
No, you got it backwards.
They're only gonna build on the 10 acres.
Oh,
This,
okay,
the 70 acres is gonna remain farmland. Now, at some point in time, it will be developed.
okay,
I mean, that's certainly the intent of it, but right now, it's just,
okay. So I guess my concern is how close is it to the woods? I guess I didn't get to
it's
look.
farthest from the woods.
Yes,
that you
it's the
can build
farthest.
that.
Okay, I was just worried about.
Yeah, it's
To the-
actually at the point of 24 and 15, 13. It's out there at the point.
Okay.
That's where that 10 acres is.
So we're safe from anybody getting close to the.
Oh,
the
no,
pond.
it's nowhere near that. And they're putting in their own retention pond, et cetera.
Okay.
I got a small survey.
Because we just had Angus cattle, I just want to make sure.
Sure. there is not a great picture.
That's fine.
24, 15, and 13. So it's as far as it could be from the
Okay.
Anyone else?
Will the 70 remaining ever be developed in the
It's
future?
going to be sometime. There are no immediate plans. Once this gets done, now that we've been talking to Stevens about maybe looking at a plot map to try and put something together, but it's a little different, unlike an industrial park or even a smaller commercial lot. Don't know exactly what it's going to be yet. If it was, you think in terms of maybe Huntington off 24, where they've got the commercial development that's gone in over the past 30 years. They had a little idea what they were going to do in some of those areas, so they could do 1 acre lots or 2 acre lots. We don't know yet. So John's going to put together, talked to him a couple months ago, put together a couple of examples for them of what they could look at as far as trying to put together some sort of not really a subdivision, but ideas for them for what they'd be looking at. But, this thing, we've been working on this for a year and a half. So while we'll be, just one day it's going to be developed, just because that's next in line for City of Wabash. But exactly what it's going to be, they don't know yet.
So to answer your question, yes, it will be
Well,
developed.
someday it will. I mean, someday it's going to.
In the next 10 years?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Okay.
There's no way to know. Just getting this done was a year and a half.
But progress happens pretty quickly, to answer your question.
And that access is going to be off of 24.
No, off 13, 15. They can't get access off 24, limited access.
Oh, I thought the
No, no.
city was going to give 150,000 for the access off of 24.
No, there is no access off 24. Limited access highway, they can't get that.
Oh, so the access is off 13.
It's off
Wabash
13 and
is going to get
Right.
it.
NDOT does not give access on it.
Yeah, you can't get it. Nobody can.
I mean, so there's an access there.
Yeah, but they won't let them use it because it's illegal.
I just wanted to answer her
Sure, yeah.
question very clear.
Yeah.
That the 70 someday,
One day.
one day, just so we're definitive on conversation. We're just talking about the 10, but
Right.
yes.
And I'm assuming that the access will be obviously on 13/15
Yes.
now. But basically what we're saying is that'll be on the side where Duke Energy is.
Correct.
Okay.
It would, the access that's been approved is between 24 and Duke.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's probably close to the middle. And they went through the required, right down the turn lane requirements. They've been through all that.
It was actually kind of cut in today. They're laying some stone and they were doing some packing along there today.
Oh, cool.
I know they were doing some soil testing. They might have put some of that down to make sure that they,
They were doing
Yeah.
something out there. They were doing something, probably soil testing yesterday. I saw when I went by.
Yeah, to be offset because of the new jail
Yeah.
entrance on the other side.
So NDOT's done their study with the traffic flow and everything.
Oh,
oh, yeah, this has been going on for 18 months. Yeah. Yeah, that's all done.
Any other questions or comments? I'd accept a motion. Either way.
I move we approve.
Second.
Any other questions, comments? Karen?
Bill Burrows,
Yes.
Brody Cook,
What do I say?
I'm sorry.
Okay, abstain.
Justin Adams,
Yes.
John Anderson,
Yes.
Chad Maple,
Yes.
Adam Stakeman,
Yes.
Heather Ellen Hoover.
yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. All right, next up is, are we ready to move on to that?
Mm-hmm.
Solar discussion to approve special exemption requirements and to look over the resolution draft that has been put together for review. Sir?
Okay, I believe at our last meeting, we discussed the special exceptions, and I think what you have at this point is what was felt to be the form in which you were ready to propose to be part of the ordinance that would go for the public hearing with regard to special exceptions.
32 pages worth.
And so the question simply is, well, the first question is, are there any other changes you wanted to the special exception portion of the ordinance?
I didn't see anything.
Now, we're just talking about the special exceptions
Right.
at this point. And if not, then the next thing is you've got a preliminary, final, a preliminary of what the ordinance would look like when we put all the sections together. And the question is, are you ready to have this be advertised for a public hearing and disseminated to the public so that they can have their input and see if we need to make any additional changes to the proposed ordinance. And if you're ready to do that, then the next question is, do you want to do that next month, or do you, it seemed to me that at some point there was some concern about whether or not everybody was going to be here, but it may have been the November meeting as opposed to the December. But I guess the question is, do you want to advertise for the December meeting, which would be, I think, the 3rd of December? Or do you want to advertise for the January meeting, which would be, I think, the about the 5th or 6th?
7th,
7th? Okay.
3rd and 7th. 3rd of December, 7th.
7th, okay.
I think I remember John Burns was saying last month that he would be here, that he thought in the December meeting, we would go over this and then make the public hearing for January. I thought, that's what I remember.
Karen, I think that's what he said.
I think
My-
that might be right.
It would probably be better attended
I would think.
in the January meeting.
Adam and I have had a number of discussions about this at the grocery store. And even though I would really like to continue to get the ball rolling, I kind of agree with John. In fact, I'm not a kind of, I do. So,
So basically you want to, the sense I'm getting is you want to have the public hearing on January the 7th to get their input. And do you foresee needing to discuss this any on at the December meeting? Or are we ready to say this is ready to be considered at the January meeting, and we would have it available for the next 2 months for people to look at and
John,
consider?
have you had adequate time to look through all 32 pages?
I have skimmed over the second half, especially. I've read in detail the first half. and started to see what I felt were a lot of similarities of things and so forth. I had no concerns, nothing left out at me as, boy, we got to talk about this or anything. I appreciate the question. I think I've had adequate time, especially if we postpone moving forward, but if we choose to move forward, I'm okay.
I have one quick question for Doug. Page 4, letter K. Who deems their structure historic? If they come to us and say, I am or have a historic home or building, if they're not in the district that is deemed by the city a section in the historic district, and they say, well, I'm outside of what the city says is a historic district, but I own, in their terminology, a historic home. How do we determine that they are a historic home or building?
Basically, what this is saying is historic buildings are buildings within a historic district. We have a historic preservation district.
Correct.
If it's outside of that, then if it's outside of that, it's not a historic building from our standpoint. However, if it has been designated by the state or the federal government as a historic building, that designation in and of itself has certain standards and guidelines that they have to go by, and those would be applicable in that situation.
So if it hasn't been recognized, then they can't come and say.
Somebody can't just come in
"We
and say it's a historic building and
Okay.
therefore we come under this. No.
Along those lines,
Mhm.
John and I had some discussions on this. Scott and I had a couple. And you and I've talked a little bit.
Mhm.
I've noticed, glad you brought that up, because I've noticed that this is an example of that, where there is a lot of, specific things, or at least semi-specific, and they overlap with a lot of other things. Some of them may not be city, they might be county because the city does sit in the county, or it could be a state thing. So a lot of this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here.
Mhm.
We are being pretty specific as far as the city, but there are still questions like that are solvable.
The reason I bring it up is because in the next 10-year and 20-year, our town is hitting some pretty important centennials that make our city 200 years old. And a lot of the houses are going to hit those marks. And people could start saying, well, my house is 200 years old. And so this could fall into then hitting those requests by the state to go, my house is 200 years old. You know what I'm saying? And so
Sure.
you've got to be sure where, it could happen. I'm just saying in the future, when we're not all here.
Right.
Our town is going to be 200 years old here soon, and 10 and 20 years old, and 20 more years. So we're going to have some birthdays here soon. And this document is still going to be live for the next group of people taking over our seats.
Now,
Something to think about.
if I remember correctly, the purpose of doing this the way we're doing it is because we're looking into the future.
Yeah.
Are we?
Okay. To address Heather's issue, again, for the purposes of our solar ordinance, the only buildings that are historic buildings are those buildings within a designated historic district. We have one, I may not be right on that. We have one historic district. We may have a couple, 3 specific houses that have been declared historic, by our historic preservation outside of the district. But basically, we have just one district. That does not mean that the city could not, at some future point in time, and it would take action by the city council, declare some other parts of the city as historic, and then this ordinance would apply to them in the same way as it does to the current district. Any building that is a state or federally designated historic building has to comply with the state and federal regulations, and nothing we can do in our local ordinance can change that. We can't tell them that they can have solar if their historic requirements say they can't, and we cannot say they can't have it if their historic requirements say they can. So that's the answer to your question.
Thank you.
Now, the answer to yours is somewhat similar, except I do not believe that the county has any ordinances with regard to solar that apply within the city jurisdiction.
Oh, I guess I did imply that. That's
Yeah.
not what I meant.
Because the county and the city are two separate,
Right.
somewhat equal organizations with jurisdiction only within their certain areas for certain things. Now, there are some things for which the county has entire jurisdiction.
Right.
But in terms of zoning and zoning requirements, the city has its area, the county has its, and neither can prescribe for the other. Okay? Once again, the state can always come in and say, I don't care what your city ordinance says, from this point on, solar energy systems have to meet this, and this regulation, and they can ignore that, and that you have instituted.
Yeah, which we discussed.
And once again, there's nothing we can do to stop that,
Right.
because the state trumps the local and the federal trumps the state and local. So the federal government can always come in and change all that. Now, there are some instances where we have incorporated certain provisions similar to or the same as what the county has. And I believe we have also made it clear that because of the size of our jurisdictional area, and because of the extent to which our jurisdictional area is already developed, we have said that we don't believe there's any location within our jurisdictional area that is appropriate for a large-scale commercial solar field. That the few undeveloped areas that we have are either not big enough for it to be a commercially feasible large-scale solar energy system, or are located in areas where the city is hoping to expand other types of development, either housing, retail, or industrial. And we don't want to have that land used up with a solar array for the next 30 years and not be able to expand in that direction. So, for example, we would not anticipate allowing any solar array along US 24 and the undeveloped area that is within our city or zoning jurisdiction that is around or contiguous to that, because those are the kinds of places that retail, commercial, and industrial developments are going to want to be close to the major highway. So I'm hoping that answered your question.
And some of that we had talked about before.
Right.
So, actually, a lot of that we'd talked about before. Any other concerns, comments, whatever?
Again, I think my question at this point is, do you see a need to discuss this further next month, or are we basically going to take a month off in order to give the public 2 months to digest this and appear at the January meeting where we think there's more likely better attendance than there would be in the December meeting?
I'm okay. I didn't know if any of the other members, like John, Bill, had indicated need for further or desire for further discussion.
I don't know about you guys, but I've read through this. I mean, I can't recite it word for word, but I've read through
I
this.
can't either, and I wrote it.
And I feel pretty confident that we've done what we were asked to do.
Well, I mean, it's been almost a year,
Mhm.
Mhm.
over and over and over, so.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and my concern is that the two newest members have adequate time to review.
That would give them plenty of time to review it also, yes. So I think what I'm hearing then is that we will advertise for the meeting in January. I think by law, we only have to give 10 days notice, but I think we will, since we have an especially long time till then, we may very well want to advertise well in advance to give people plenty of opportunity to get copies of it, read it, and digest it, and be prepared to come and make whatever comments they've got on it.
But we do have the right, if we meet in December, we can bring this back up for discussion if somebody has something to find between now and then amongst us.
Yeah. What I would say is that if you notify Karen at least before the agenda goes out, yes, we can put it on the agenda and discuss it in December. Once the agenda goes out, no, I don't think we really, or if it's determined there's no other business and therefore we're not going to meet in December, once that goes out, I don't think we can turn around, meet and discuss it then. But if you indicate, yeah, there's something I do want to talk about before the January meeting, we can put it on the agenda for December.
Do you know how many pages the county?
No, I do not.
It's, I don't know how many exactly,
I
but
may have
I
it here.
believe it's close to twice this much.
Well,
I mean, it's thicker. I can't tell you how much.
I think we've done.
I don't know if Jeff has any idea or not. Okay. I've got a copy of it, but I don't have it with me.
Well, I think once we had decided not to let large industrial into our city limits, it really.
That just, yeah, that cut it in half. And it also,
And it took a lot of the pressure off.
correct me if I'm wrong, it took a lot of the concern away from people like yourselves who live in the buffer zone or in that area, correct?
At least half of the anxiety.
Mhm.
There's more
Oh, we know. I mean,
Right,
mhm.
coming down the pipeline.
yeah.
But I know, Roger Peebles was involved in the counties, and he and I talked we talked several times. And theirs is There's a lot, theirs is, it addresses a lot of the same concerns, but it's a different animal.
Oh.
So I guess that's the way I would explain it.
I think we've done pretty good
Mhm.
going blindly into this, coming out with something.
I just remember, gosh, maybe 6, 7 years ago, maybe longer, somebody brought to this commission the thought process of we needed to do something about windmills and all that kind of stuff. And somebody said, probably you, said, we need to address this as a group, as a complete, and here we are. So it's not something that was just all of a sudden surprise in January it was here. It's been coming. Are we okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else? That needs to be, do we need to go anywhere else? Discuss anything else, or are we done? Anybody?
Is this from you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I didn't know if you had to vote on that and then you would,
I didn't even-
the board.
I didn't see it till we got here, so.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before either.
Next, the next part of this. So thank you for addressing the solar issue. So data centers. They're here, they want to install, they're in Huntington, they're in Wabash, and they're looking for ground. So I'm asking for another moratorium. Of course, we're saying no, but there may be another farmer that's ready to retire that doesn't want to say no. We don't have the infrastructure in Wabash County.
Yeah, that's always been my understanding. We don't have the infrastructure for it. And I know our other industrial developments that we're doing, power is always one of the major issues that we have to deal with. And whether or not we've got enough power and to do, I think they're building some new substations just so we can do something that's nowhere near as energy intensive as this. So,
Right, but they're bringing in a new nuclear company in Indianapolis and, I mean, if they can get the land and get it started, that's where it all happens. So I just wanted to be ahead of it.
Good thought. Anything that we need to do?
And I'm sorry to be a headache and a thorn in their side.
well,
Somebody's got to look out for us.
I don't think there's anything we can do about it tonight as far as that
I'm
goes.
not asking you to, but I think that we need to,
I guess, basically, it's going to be another change to the zoning ordinance. There are basically,
look at Chad's gonna fall asleep.
there are basically two ways that we can deal with this change to the zoning ordinance. Well, there are three ways. Way number one is the city council can direct us to consider recommending to them a change. The second is we can look at it and decide we want to recommend to the city council a change. Keep in mind that even if we approve the solar ordinance as it's drafted, or approve it as we make changes based on public comment, we can't pass it. All we can do is recommend to
Right.
city council. And whether it gets passed, it will be up to the city council. So, again, city council can direct us. We can say on our own, we want to recommend to city council this, or concerned citizens can bring it to us and ask us to make a recommendation to city council, and we can either say, yeah, we'll look into it, or no, we won't, or yes, we will.
Can you just say right now, no data centers?
No. First off, we could not today say no data centers. There's still a process we would have to go through. And we are nowhere near that process. At the best, you're looking at a couple, 3 months probably before anything can be done.
Can it be added to the solar ordinance?
It's a beast on its own.
The short answer is that's not what I would want to do. First off, the solar ordinance we were directed by city council to do the solar ordinance, and we weren't directed to do anything about data centers. So again, the question is, I mean, if you want to take action tonight, you could pass a motion saying, yes, we want to investigate creating some kind of zoning regulation regarding data centers, and we can investigate it and work on it like we did the solar, and over a period of time, propose something to city council.
Did we or did the city council ask us to create a moratorium?
That came from the city council.
Okay. Is that something we could get on Monday's agenda, considering today's Wednesday?
They're moving quickly.
Well, the agenda will go out tomorrow. I don't know, probably tomorrow afternoon. Whether or not it's soon enough time to get on the agenda, I don't know.
Have you approached the county as well?
They're working on one right now.
They are, okay. That's my biggest thing is, I mean, just like the solar, the
I'm
industrial
thinking the
solar,
same thing.
I've already covered that.
we did not have we really found that we didn't have the space within the city's ordinance area. Nobody was going to be able to put in a major solar field. And I kind of wonder if that's not the same case with these big data centers. I just did a quick search and it says that on the small side, they need 900 acres to put in a data center. So do we have that within our
They
city?
can put in micro data centers.
But I do think you've gone about this from the standpoint of going to the county first.
Yeah.
Simply because they've got the biggest area,
That's right.
which makes sense, makes all kinds of sense.
That would be the bigger
There's
concern.
not a moratorium. They're actually working on the planning process of it. Talk to Brian Campbell and the planning commission is working on that right now.
So how do we approach the council? Do you want to say something to him? You want me to, is Scott going to be here tomorrow or?
I will see Scott tomorrow. There'll be a Board of Works meeting.
Oh, that's right.
I will see him before the Board of Works meeting. I can certainly see what his feeling is about it. Yes.
Okay. All right. Satisfactory?
Correction, I wrote Brian Campbell and I talked to Cheryl Ross. Cheryl Ross told me that they're working on it right now.
And I'm sure Brian's involved in it.
He's inundated.
Yeah, I'll bet. Makes sense? Thank you for your concern on that. I appreciate it. Anything else? Do I need a motion to adjourn or can I just?
You can adjourn it.
Adjourn. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't see this before.
And Bill,
Oh, yeah, hit the thing.
yeah.
In screen.